amount, it's the same amount of force, right? It's the same force, it's 10 minutes, it's 1 mile, 140. Certain number of steps. Now, if you increase that, let's say to 150 steps, it's the same amount of force, but spread over more steps. Would you agree? So more steps per minute. What that's doing is spacing out that amount of force to less per step. Does that make sense? So the amount of force is going to be the same if you're running the same pace. But if you do smaller steps, it's less ground impact force per step if you're going a little faster versus very long strides. It's going to be a lot more impact. And that alone is something that and it's not easy to do. You got to get a metronome half out or a headphone or something. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do. Easier to probably do on a treadmill. And that's one tip that I'll give to runners to like increase cadence. It will kick your heart rate up a little bit as well because your body's not acclimated to that cadence, but that's one of the best tips I can give. Alright, so for stretching, I like to preach dynamic warm-ups before activity. You can certainly add in some static stretching before you run, but the majority of your warm-up should be dynamic, which means moving. You can combine them, but I think the cool down, skip ahead here, should be a lot of static stretching. You can do some dynamic, so maybe it's 80-20, where the warm-up is 80% dynamic, 20% static, then flip it for the cool down. There's many ways you can dynamically warm up. Marches, butt kicks, you can do the straight leg kicks, the side kicks. I like to throw a little strengthening in there, some lunges, possibly some airplanes to get the hips going. Bodyweight squats, calf raises, especially single leg calf raises can be nice. And roughly about 30 seconds each. You know, you should be spending 5 to 10 minutes dynamically warming up. It's easy to just get up, throw the shoes on, and go. But if you get your heart rate up just a bit, and the muscles warmed up, and your nervous system warmed up before you go, it like long term is going to pay off for you. Just to warm up 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be 30-minute warm up like things. There's a video there. It's just one of my videos on YouTube you can watch for a dynamic warm up example. And then static stretching, you know, there's foam rolling as well, lunge stretch, hamstring stretch. You get on the floor and do, cat camel, there's different yoga poses. Calf stretch, glute stretch, your chest. So static stretching after that, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And we can go through some of these too once we break down a little bit, yeah. So this gets down to how I can help, or if it's not me, another running or another sports physical therapist. Going through the injury risk reduction with functional strengthening and maintenance work. So some of that maintenance work that I do here is dry needling, manual massage and tissue work, cupping, muscle scraping, assisted stretching. All those can really help, especially after longer events that we get to the days and the halves and the fulls. Prehab is important as well, so working on any muscle imbalances and weaknesses, getting your body as robust as possible, like I said earlier. And then another option is the running analysis. Again, there's two reasons why I would offer someone a running analysis. One, you're injured, and we have to figure out, maybe it's another component of what's going on. If there's any major, collapsing in, or maybe you're bouncing too much. Another reason is maybe you're feeling good. You just want to become more efficient in running. So let's say you're on the treadmill and I see a lot of bouncing going on, a lot of vertical wasted energy. You're going to become faster and more efficient if you're taking that energy forward and not bouncing as much. So efficiency and looking at any deficits as well. And of course, going through like a whole running screening evaluation if you are dealing with an issue. I look at feet, knees, look at everything, up to thoracic spine, shoulders, see if there are any deficits. Working on those and
questions for me about either like warm-up shoes, injury tip prevention? I need a couple questions. I'm not going to move it until I hit it. Yes.